Hi, this is Old School with TAIFA World Ministries. I have to continue the little discussion we had last night about men being responsible. There's so much to talk about on this topic. You know why we formed gangs? Gang was an attempt to bring back a family. In other words, as men, we know inherently that we have to defend and fight, protect. So since there's no father figure, we decided to come together as young men and organize ourselves. That's natural. And we set up rules. But the problem is, we are fighting each other. Now, I'm not saying go out there and start fighting a man, but I'm saying the purpose of gangs it's like a militia. You getting ready to protect your community from him. But he sent infiltrators in, tell you somebody said about you in another part of town, and divert your energy to fighting each other. You know something wrong with that because you got the wrong color. You wearing the wrong color. You're not a crib, bro. What you doing here? You're not a blood. Man, he did a job on us. He got us fighting his war. In other words, he ain't got to come against us like he used to. He got us fighting each other. Stop it, stop it, stop it. We're going through the same thing. Divert your energy to self-improvement. We all know we need that, right? We all know we didn't learn that in school because they're not teaching anything in school. So if you got a little job, okay, stick with it. It ain't much, but it's something. What determines your success is how you spend your free time. Yeah, give him his time, but don't waste your free time sleeping, farting around, not doing nothing useful. Because I'm telling you, if you waste time gonna waste you. Always have something to do to improve yourself. I know when I was security guard growing up in my 20s, 30s, I got hooked up with this self-improvement program, I think a Cosant, Nightingale Cosant, something like that. And I hardly even paid them, but they kept sending me the tapes. I sent them $10, $15 every now and then. They didn't get the money, but they kept sending me the tapes. So what I'm saying is that it's natural to want to fight and protect and defend, but not from your own family. I know I said before that the person, the enemy, looks like you because he's been made to be your enemy. This is part of a bigger plan. TAIFA World Ministry is about changing that plan they have. They plan for us to kill each other. That's a plan. Men becoming too emotional, men. And women are becoming more like men. They becoming masculine. How did this happen? This man has been a war to us ever since we've been here. It's chemical warfare. He got it in the food. He got it in the air, in the water, to make you emotional. What they call it, these hormones, testosterone and estrogen. Estrogen. So he's making sure the women get a lot of testosterone. You know, when they work out, yeah, they getting testosterone. They becoming more and more like a man the more they spend in the gym. That's why you can't hardly talk to none of them. They think they're another dude. And the men, you getting this estrogen in all your food, you ready to fight at a drop of a hat because you're not able to control your emotion. And that's something we gave women emotions because she's supposed to see things we don't see. But men, you can't afford to be emotional. If you're gonna go to battle, you're gonna say, "Oh man, I didn't want to hurt him, I didn't want to kill him," and then they start fussing with somebody. No, you don't do that as men. You know, I get, you know, in my life every day we go through the same thing. You go, people try to piss you off by little things. They have a million ways of trying to make you feel small. But you can't feed into that. You got to rise above it. They just nasty and mean. But don't let that affect you. You're your own person. In other words, you're not reacting to them, strengthen you, and it weakens them. The best weapon you can do to somebody who's trying to harass you is don't give them no attention. The minute you become emotional, say, "What you say, nigga? What you say? I'll do this, I'll do this." You lost it. You lost your manhood. Go watch some of these old movies where you had real men role models. They wasn't emotional. Denzel is one of ours. It's not many. You got to go to the white ones for the principle of how to stand up. I'm glad I gave in my day. We had a lot of male models on the tube, so we was growing up with that discipline. But you don't want to hear nothing about that. This is old school. Well, I'm gonna just end on this note. No one expects you to amount to anything. I'm talking to the family now, the whole tribe. Nobody expects you to amount to anything. Everything they thoughts, they're telling you, "Oh, you're nothing. You're not gonna succeed." Laugh at that. Don't take it on. Don't try to do nothing to prove nothing to nobody. Don't argue with nobody. See, one thing about being in the nation, we had rules to go by. You had a code to go by. That's what the military teaches you. And I'm glad I went to the military. I wouldn't advise it today, but we had few options coming up. If I didn't go to the military, I'd probably be a drug head myself. I was offered drugs in the military, all kind of drugs. I said no. I just didn't want that. That's why I can be healthy, strong, 4 decades, still going strong. But all this is coming to an end, people. Natural law rules. What I'm saying is that this is the end game. So just hold on. All y'all unjustly in prison on fake, phony charges. But how many of y'all copped the plea? You put yourself in prison. You believe the lies they told you. First thing, you shouldn't even open your mouth to talk to them. What they gonna do next? Beat you up? I'm gonna tell you the experience I had because I was locked up, some petty stuff, and because I was a leader in the sense that I was a reader, didn't get in fights, stayed to myself. That's a leader. People came to me and they trusted me. So the officials saw this and said, "Okay, we gotta get him." I was just in there for a short time. They were trying to extend my time. So this is the game they played. They say, "Look, this was a time they were having some riots. They accused me of heading the riots. They accused me of being leadership the riot. They accused me of leading the riot because of my leadership ability. I could stop a riot. By the way, they got some stone killers in there, man. I'm telling you, I came across them, and some of them you wouldn't know because they talk like they're just as gentle giants, but they were stone killers. Anyway, so what happened is they tried to get me to sign this some type of paperwork. I ain't signing jack because when you make a deal with the devil, you sign your life away. And I knew that even at a young age. So he put the paper before my face and said, "Look, we willing to overlook this and not extend." He was just lying. Every time they open, you know when they lying when they open their mouth, the prison guard. So I didn't cuss him or get loud. I just told him I wasn't signing nothing. And you know what? I got out when I was supposed to get out because I played their bluff. He was telling me I was gonna be there for 10 years if I didn't sign that paper. And I was just in there for 2. But they were trying to what's it called, trump up some charges on me. But he was giving me a way out by signing this paper. I said, I ain't signing jack. And didn't really care if I got 10 more years because I know I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying. I wasn't sucking up on a lie. In other words, you got to do things to be at peace with yourself. I couldn't sleep at night if I sucked up to somebody to get a reducing sentence for something I didn't even do. No, I say, okay, 10 years, okay. But when time came for me to get out, I got out right on time. Matter of fact, a few days earlier. So what I'm saying is that you always got invisible helpers with you in the unseen. Some people call it God. That's why it's important for you to do right. You can always be done right. The universe gonna protect you. Now, if you want to do wrong, that's why I say don't worry about them people because the universe gonna get them. Remember boys in the hood when they snuck up and shot them boys? They were killed the next day. That's real life. What you gonna reap what you sow. That's what they say in the old days. Whatever you give out, you're gonna get it. So give out love wherever you can. I'm not saying be no punk. You know when somebody's fronting you, and just tell them, say, man, don't front me. I'm not the one. If you wanna test me, we can go out there and fist it out, man to man. No guns, no knife. You're always gonna have people trying to test you. But the main thing is to test yourself. How distant can you be? How you hire to the tribe? This is old school. Daniel Bay. On the second part of being a man.